What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're installing Diode Dynamics SS3 ditch lights onto the 5th gen 4Runner. Alright, so why might you want ditch lights on your 5th gen 4Runner? Ditch lights are going to give you a much wider field of vision at night. So when you're driving at night, off-roading, and there's obstacles on the side of your vehicle, you're going to want to see that they're there. You know, if you're making a sharp turn, you want to know if there's rocks, roots, or a ditch there. So ditch lights will provide that. Traditional headlights, LED light bars will project light directly in front of the vehicle. Ditch lights are fully adjustable, so you can get that light right on the sides of your vehicle. I ended up going with Diode Dynamics SS3 Sports. They also have the SS3 Pro, which doubles the lumens. I really like Diode Dynamics. Diode Dynamics makes high quality, good value products. So, you know, what I mean by that is how much you spend, you really get your money's worth with them. They're made in the United States, designed in the United States, and they come with an 8-year warranty. When you open up the box, you know you have a quality product. The brackets for these ditch lights are also really nice. They are made of stainless steel and they are powder coated. They're extremely strong and rigid. That is a complaint that I heard from other people about their ditch light brackets. They're a little bit thin, tend to vibrate on the trail, and so your lights are kind of vibrating. I could see that kind of being annoying. I ended up taking this setup and I wired it to a switch from AliExpress. I had trouble finding a OEM style dual switch. These do have an amber DRL function and then just a regular high beam. So I wanted a dual switch that would just click, put in my 4Runner's dash there. So I ended up going on AliExpress. I'll leave a link below to where I got that switch. It's kind of a custom switch, but I'm really happy with it and it works great. But without further ado, let's jump into the process. I'll take you through the whole process of installing these lights and wiring them up. Let's jump into it.
Just wanted to quickly mention we are now on Instagram at t4r.garage. Follow the page to keep up to date on new videos that are coming out and also to win free t-shirts that I had made recently. I'll be drawing random people January 1st, February 1st, and March 1st for these t-shirts.
All right, so for supplies, we have a 12mm socket, a 13mm wrench, 5/32 Allen key. I have some tape here just to kind of protect our paint. I have some tape here just to mark out where our hinge is going to go on our hood. This is just going to help me get through that firewall. There's a little seal there. I'm going to go through, open this up, feed the wire through. This is for just trimming our wires. So this stuff here is for doing our switch. I'm going to solder the wires and I'm going to heat shrink them. If you don't want to use this method, you can just go with butt connectors. This will make your life really easy. Not as good of a method, but pretty simple and it seems to work pretty good. But that's everything you'll need for tools. All right, so we're going to start off by protecting this edge and this paint here. All right, now we're going to use our thin tape here and we're going to mark out where this is contacting the hood so we get perfect alignment. All right, so we're now ready to remove the hinge here. So I got my 12mm socket. I'm going to use my hand and hold the back of this edge.
All right, so I'd highly recommend that you have somebody assist you with this part. It is pretty tricky to hold that bracket on there, get that hood in place, get everything lined up and get those bolts through. I did struggle with it a little bit. You run the risk of cross-threading if you don't have somebody assist you, so just take your time. You may need to push down from the top of the hood downwards to actually line up the bolt holes. Once you are happy with how it is positioned, you can start tightening it up. You'll want to repeat this process on the passenger side. The only difference is on the passenger side, you'll have to disconnect the washer hose as I'm showing you here. Just pop that little clip in and just move it out of the way. Once you have finished doing the passenger side, you are now ready to check your gaps. So close your hood and just make sure that you have equal gaps on both sides and make adjustments accordingly. You can now remove your tape.
All right, so we're now ready to put our bracket on. So we'll drop our bracket on here. We'll feed our carriage bolt through, and then we're gonna put flat washer on, lock washer, followed by our nut here, in that order.
All right, so we're now ready to put our vinyl threaded nuts into our SS3 pods. So flip it over and on each side, there'll be a little channel. So just take your vinyl threaded nut and just drop it into that little channel with the vinyl part facing inwards and repeat that process on the opposite side.
All right, so I got my little Allen bolts here. I got my washers on them. We've got our threaded nut in here. So we'll keep this kind of facing downwards just so these nuts don't slide out. And we'll line the holes up on the sides and we'll feed those Allen bolts through. And we'll use our 5/32 Allen key. Now at this point, you can adjust kind of how you want it to face. Perfect. All right, so we're under the hood. I've disconnected the negative battery terminal. Here's our relay. We're gonna mount that up here. I have my bolt, our M8125 bolt's gonna mount right here. But before we do that, I wanna feed most of the wires. So all of the wires except for the negative and positive, which is our switch and our 2 lights. We're gonna feed these 3 wires under next to the relay fuse box. This will just keep things nice and clean. All right, so those are all neatly tucked through. Now we're gonna take our little M8125 bolt and we're gonna bolt this relay right here onto the body. All right, so that's bolted on there nicely. Let's just unplug this. I don't really like the looks of this. I wanna clean this up a bit, so. Great, that looks a little bit better. All right, so now we'll hook up the positive and negative. So it's a 12 millimeter. And I'm just gonna hook my negative up here to the body. I think this is a 10 mil. Now let's move on to hooking up the actual ditch lights themselves. All right guys, so I've ran the wires for the ditch lights. I'm just gonna show you where I put those wires. I'm pretty happy with where they're going and how they look, so check it out. So they do come up, they go through that hoop. This is the one going over to the passenger side. I put a wire insulator on and ran it along where the factory wires run, all along the top here. So you can see it running along there. And it continues along and it goes underneath and up to the side here. And the wire comes up into the bracket. There's zip ties here. There's locations on these brackets for your zip ties. There's kind of a little gap along here that you can actually push the wire, run it through, then it will come up here. So it's going to be completely hidden. And same thing, it zip tied along the edge of this bracket here. I did use a little black electrical tape just to kind of clean things up. This area will be exposed to ultraviolet rays, so I did want to protect the wires from that. So that's how it's all wired up. All right, and then the wire for the switch, I haven't tidied this wire up yet. It's still loose, but I did run it through that rubber grommet there. That's where the wires are running through. And they will basically come in down here. All right guys, so I've done the wiring here. Basically I've gone in, I've just soldered these wires together and I've slid the heat shrink over them. So I'm just gonna explain kind of how I wired this. So I did black to black, which is the ground up here. You can't really see it, it's up here. And then, so these wires here are coming from our harness. So red is constant power from our harness. And then the blue and the yellow is, the blue is for our DRL and yellow is for our ditch lights. So constant power is coming through here. I hit the button for DRL, it will send power down to the blue wire. When I hit power for the main ditch lights, it will send power down the yellow wire. That will hit the relay and turn on the actual lights. I've left yellow disconnected here. Yellow actually illuminates this switch. It's just always on. I don't want to kill my battery. So if you wanted to hook this up to, you know, your running power of your vehicle, so it just kind of illuminates when you turn your vehicle on, you'll see the switch illuminate. I don't really care. I don't really want more lights on my dash, so I'm just gonna leave the yellow wire disconnected. When I want to do my DRL, I'll hit this button, it'll turn on my daytime running lights, and when I hit that one, it'll turn on the main lights, so you can actually hear the relay click. Anyways, let's pull the dash down and let's get the switch installed, and then we'll reconnect this once we get the switch in.
All right, so you just grab onto the plastic near the steering wheel and just pull out. It's just clips that hold this part in. This will pop it down, then you can pop out that blank switch spot. Put that to the side and then pull your wires through. At this point, I taped up my yellow wire since I won't be using that. So I taped it up, clip that plastic back in, and then the switch will just clip right in. And then what you'll want to do is come under the hood and pull the excess wire out so there's no remaining excess wire inside the cab of the vehicle.
All right guys, that completes the install of those Diode Dynamics SS3 Sports on the 5th Gen 4Runner. Just make sure you bundle up all that excess wire under the hood and zip tie it. Make sure you pull any extra from inside the cab of the vehicle into under the hood and just kind of tidy it up. If you guys found this video useful, please like and subscribe. I hope to come up with a lot more videos and I always appreciate your guys' support. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye now.